Welcome to Ecstatic Yoga. I am Grace. So happy you are here today for our warrior flow. We're going to add in some variations to this flow today. We've gone through the flow a bit. We're on week 7 of the teacher training. This week we're focusing on Santosha, the Niyama Santosha contentment. Just keeping this in our forefront of our consciousness of how we can be content with ourselves, our bodies, our lives, exactly as it is, exactly as it isn't, and how life is arising for us now, finding that contentment and peace, fulfillment in our lives. And it really takes focusing on what is really working in our lives and what is good in our lives, and knowing that if something's not there right now, it's just not time yet. And we have so much richness, so much abundance of blessings, even just simply nature, taking a walk in nature, you'll find countless blessings and miracles to focus on and find that abundant fulfillment in the simple things in life, relationships, loved ones, our animals. I got Xander here, our static yoga kitty. What a blessing to have this beautiful kitty. It's purring now. And we're going to be practicing a samadhi today and a little flow. We're going to always be practicing some self-love for ourselves, finding as many ways as we can acknowledge ourselves, see the good in ourselves, be that inner coach, that loving inner coach, so that we can drown out any inner critic. It's always good to take every situation and experience in our life and learn from that and grow from that. And then letting it go, take the blessings and the gifts and let the past be in the past, water under the bridge, and maintain this present moment focus for ourselves. And we're also focusing on this. We learned the koshas last week, and this week we're on the Annamaya kosha. So we're going to bring more awareness to this Annamaya kosha. So let's take a moment and feel this Annamaya kosha, these bones and the muscles and the organs and everything that is physical that can be touched and seen with the physical senses. That's what we are going to focus on again today. So feeling where our physical body is connected to this physical earth, feeling that connection, that oneness with the earth, knowing that every molecule in our body was once in the earth, will return to the earth. There's that exchange of elements constantly happening every moment. Those molecules are changing. And from a molecular viewpoint, it's hard to really see where the earth begins and the earth ends, because it's all earth energy. Molecule in a tree across the other side of the world could be in our body a few days later. It's a beautiful exchange of molecules. Is a beautiful way to really realize that even on a physical level, we're really all one. It's harder to see on the physical because it seems like we're separate. My body's separate from your body, but on a physical, scientific exchange of molecules, we're all exchanging molecules, and this is what we're made out of, is molecules. And we're going to begin by bringing ourselves into breath awareness, noticing the breath. And take a few breaths, breathing through your nose, not changing the breath. You don't even need to move into belly breath right now. Just really noticing and watching this normal breath rhythm and flow. Feeling the cool air coming in through the nostrils and the warmer air moving out the nostrils on the exhale. Really being in touch with this act of breathing in this physical body. And feeling how the breath affects the body. Now, as we inhale, the lungs expand, the chest expands, the diaphragm, the belly. And on the exhale, how that belly comes in towards the spine, the lungs, the chest relax. And noticing the different temperatures as we inhale and exhale through the nostrils. Air temperature changes. And taking a moment to, as you just settle deeply into simply this breath, how with full focused awareness on the breath, that experience of bringing your attention to yourself, to the breath, to the body, how it can be a very enjoyable experience. And taking a moment now to drop that breath down to the belly if you haven't already. And we're going to be practicing abdominal breathing throughout the practice, breathing into that lower abdomen. And taking a few breaths, bringing all your focus to this deep belly breathing. Breathing in and out through the nose. For the next couple breaths, if you want to open your eyes and gaze at an object that's not moving. And taking this moment now to scan the physical body, your energy, no judgment. Just bringing your awareness and noticing as a neutral observer. Perfect equanimity. And diving in a little deeper into pratyahara, noticing the energy movements inside your body, the emotions, feeling everything falling. And setting an intention. It could be for this day, for the practice. It could be an intention for your life. Always stating it in the positive and the present, as if it's already right here, right now. Taking a moment to feel those same emotions. And releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better. And I'm sorry, Sandy. We're going to be moving and getting up. Need to do this to you, little man. Coming to a standing position. I'm sorry, Sander. It's okay, baby. Let's see. It's okay, baby. Let's see. Perfect. There you go. All right. Okay, perfect. So we're going to start our warrior flow. Let's just shake out the body, move a little bit, just wiggle in the body. And let's make some circles with our hips. This warms up the spine as well as the hips and the pelvis a little bit. Kind of play with it. Make some big circles, move side to side. Noticing the sensations moving. Beautiful. Just a nice little warm up. And let's move into a nice little half moon Ardha Chandrasana. So we can bring those arms up, bring them in prayer position, and move over to the side, opening up the side body, feeling the weight equally distributed in both feet. That nice opening of the side body. And one more breath here. And let's moving over to the other side. Make a nice opening and breathe. Nice lateral movements of the spine. Coming back, releasing the hands. And let's do a little twist, waking up that spine. As you twist, it was like to move on to the toes as you twist to allow everything to spin and be in alignment, the knees. Warming up that spine. And let's tap that thymus. This is the thymus gland. It's responsible for our immunities, and it can shrink as we get older. So if we continue to tap it pretty regularly throughout our lives, we can keep a really high level of immunity and keep our bodies healthy. This Anamaya Kosha, this physical body. Beautiful. All right, so let's start with our warrior flow. We're going to move into a nice wide stance. I'm going to show you. Another way we can get into warrior. So if you're facing in front of the mat, you can always take a giant step back with one foot, and then opening up the hips. So they're facing forward. So we take that step back and then we open those hips. So my back foot, find where your body feels good. It can actually be in line with the back of the mat, and you can be moving it in 40 degrees, 45. Find what works good with your knees and your hips and this back leg. Front foot is 90 degrees. It's pointing towards the front of the mat. We're going to bend that front knee to be right over that front ankle. And then we're going to bring those arms up. Both arms are engaged, so you want to have them both about the same height and both engaged. Sometimes when we're not engaging, that back arm can drop down, but we actually want them the same height. Beautiful. And turning the head to gaze out over the front fingertips. Let's engage those bandhas and bring in the breath, deep belly breaths. Feeling that physical body, that foundation of the feet, that Anamaya Kosha, that alignment. Eyes are open, gazing out in front of the fingertips. You can find a point to gaze at, drishti. And on the next inhale, we're going to reach the front arms up as the back arm comes back. Very gently rest on the back leg, just a very gentle rest. And this arm, you can find where you'd like to have that arm. Keeping that head in alignment with the spine, let that natural curve. We're not going to drop the head. Heart is open, chest is lifted, and engage those bandhas and breathe. And some people like to keep that knee right over the ankle. Some people like to straighten it and to feel a little different effect. So find your variation with this and engage the bandhas and breathe. Next inhale, reaching the arms up. And on the exhale, we're going to scoop those arms to rest gently on the front leg. Back arm is going to come up alongside the body in a beautiful side angle. Engage the bandhas and breathe. Feel that line of energy from the back foot along the side body and out the extended fingertips. One more deep breath. And then we're going to go into a little flow. So we're going to move back into our warrior two. And finding a flow from warrior two to reverse warrior. To side angle. And you can change it up with the breath. So we did a full breath on each pose, but you can also inhale into your warrior two, exhale into reverse warrior. Let's take another inhale into reverse warrior and exhale into your side angle. Do that 2 more times. Find your rhythm. Beautiful job. And on your next inhale, we're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to move into our triangle. So we're going to bring the hand down to the floor or the block. And I have my right hand extending up. and left hand down on the earth. And you can gaze up at those fingertips or keep the head in alignment with the spine. Micro bend in each knee. Next inhale, reaching into the fingertips, and on the exhale, and bringing that hand down. Bringing a hand on either side of the front foot. You can adjust that foundation in the back foot. And relax. Let me get a little drink. And from your, another sip of water. From pyramid, take one more sip of water. We're going to move into revolve triangle. Deep breaths. One more breath, reaching into the fingertips. And bringing that hand down. And we move into our warrior one, squaring those hips, relaxing the shoulders down. Shoulder blades are coming together. Front knee is right over the front ankle. And breathe. Gazing forward. And then we can take that step forward with the back foot and move into warrior three as we hinge over into our balance. Finding the drishti to gaze at and breathe. One more breath. Beautiful job. Coming down. Moving into our beautiful star, five-pointed star. So everything's coming from the solar plexus. Two lines of energies going down the legs, pressing the feet into the earth. Energies coming up through the heart and out, both arms and fingertips, feeling them engaged and reaching out away from the body. And that fifth line of energy is from our crown, moving up to the sky. Engage the bandhas and breathe. One more breath. And moving into goddess. Bending those knees right over the feet, bringing those heels in. Find your squat. Another sip of water. Open heart. One more breath. And coming up on the inhale. We're going to move into wide leg forward fold. Let's tilt the pelvis forward, hands on the hips, and begin to hinge at the hips. And we're going to keep the spine straight until we get to our full hinge to protect. And bringing the hands down to the floor of the block. Then you can bend one knee at a time for a little stretch. Coming back to center. And we're going to lift that head first. Let's come into a half forward fold here. And then continue up, letting that head lead the way, all the way up. And then we move into a little flow. So we move back into that star. And we take an inhale into star. And bring those heels in a little bit for this flow. Exhaling into goddess. Inhaling back up, preparing for wide leg forward fold. Exhaling down into your forward fold. Inhaling into half forward fold. Exhaling back down. Back into half forward fold. And hinging back up. Moving into your star. And flowing. Find your pace, your own pace. From star to goddess. Back to standing. Into your forward fold. And you can go into half forward fold. And you can either come directly up from here or add in that extra step. So let's do it a couple more times. I'm fully aware and conscious of this physical body, this Annamaya Kosha, noticing the sensations, feeling the foundation where your feet are connected to the earth. And when you're finished, coming to standing position, and we're going to move to the other side. Add a couple new flows on this side. So the front foot is pointing 90 degrees towards the top of the mat. I'm going to find a nice comfortable place for that back foot. Bending that knee so it's right over the ankle. And the hips are facing me. They're facing forward. Bringing the arms out. And then gazing out over those front fingertips. Engage the bandhas and breathe in your Virabhadrasana 2. One more breath. Next inhale, reaching the arms up, back arm resting on the back leg, lifting the chest, gazing up gently, knees back over the ankle or it's straight, and breathe in your reverse warrior, Viparita Virabhadrasana. On your next inhale, reaching those fingertips up and exhaling down. Back arm comes up alongside the body. A couple different ways to do that. Find what works best for your shoulders and engage the bandhas and breathe in your side angle. Let's do that flow again. Moving into our Virabhadrasana 2 for a breath. Moving into reversed warrior. Viparita Virabhadrasana for a full inhale and exhale. And side angle. And a couple more flows, maybe just bringing that one breath, inhaling into your warrior 2, exhaling into your reverse warrior, inhaling into side angle, or adding that extra breath in your reverse warrior. Or either pose. Flowing back and forth. Do one more time. And straightening the leg, moving into our Trikonasana triangle. You can bring your hand down to a block or the floor. Most important thing is that your body is in alignment. And we want to make sure that our body, it's like we're between two walls. So if you're pointing out or back, we want to be right between, sometimes doing this right up against a wall and making sure the shoulders are against the wall. The back helps. And one more breath as we reach the fingertips up. And exhaling those hands down on either side of the front foot. Taking a little break, relaxing again. You can adjust that back foot. And pyramid. And we're going to be moving into revolve triangle. So we're going to have, I have my left hand rooted on the floor or your block, twisting away from me, raising the right hand up. And breathe. Inhaling, reaching into the fingertips, and exhaling, bringing that hand down. And I want to show you a little flow, a little variation flow you can do here. Because once you're here in your pyramid, you can move into down dog through your warrior flow. And you can take turns with your Virabhadrasana 1 with the legs. So we can take the left foot up. We move into warrior 1. We can come down. And we can bring that right foot up. Moving into Virabhadrasana 1. Another variation is we can take that left foot and kick it back into a three-legged dog here. And then you can bring that foot up and move into your warrior 1 from here. Three-legged dog to warrior 1. Move back. Let's move to the other side, kicking the right leg back into three-legged dog. And then bringing that right leg forward. Moving into warrior 1 here. It's a variation that you can always add into any warrior flow. And then from here, we're going to take that step forward with the back foot, hinge, and move into our warrior 3. And there's some variations with the hands here. They can be out, they can be touching, the hands can be out to the side. Find your drishti, the spot in front of you that's not moving, flexing that back foot, and breathe. One more breath. Beautiful, and coming back and facing forward. And before we move down, let's move back into that flow, our star. Feeling those 5 lines of energy. Heels are in a little, feet are out a little to prepare for our goddess. Finding your squat. Moving up. Coming into wide leg forward fold, tilting that pelvis forward and tilting all the way down. And finding that earth, whether it's a block or the earth. Maybe a little stretching, bending each knee a little. And taking a moment while you're in this beautiful forward fold, visiting each foot, each leg, finding a nice stretch, keeping that breath flowing. And the other side. And coming back to center. And let's bend those knees. Heels are in, bend the knees. Moving into a nice, you can change that foundation by bringing those feet a little closer. Moving into a nice little malasana squat. Bringing those hands together. Using the elbows to press the legs a little further apart for a little more sensation. Engage the bandhas and breathe. Beautiful job. And coming out, just gently coming to a seat. And we're going to come down onto our backs. And let's tuck those knees into the chest for a moment. Rocking back and forth nice and gently. Let's bring those legs up. Nice little inversion, flexing and extending the feet. And this can be your inversion. This might be your pose. Or if you'd like to come up into shoulder stand. And we'll allowing that nice vacation on the veins. Inversions are so beautiful. And we can do some variations. You can bring one foot at a time down to the earth. And bring them straight down. You can bring those legs to the side. We've done this one before. Looks like I might hit the plant. Beautiful. And let's hinge over into our plow. Keeping the breath flowing through the belly. And gently tucking the legs in. Bringing the hands to the earth to gently come down. And bringing those legs out, let's move into our fish, Matsyasana. The palms of the hands are palms down, and bring in one hand at a time under the buttocks, snuggling those arms close into the body, pressing into the elbows as you lift that heart and the head off the earth. And as you come down, gently coming down onto the top of the head. And breathe. And the next inhale, pressing into the elbows as you lift the chest and the head, straighten out the body, and gently and kindly coming back down and releasing those hands from underneath the buttocks. And let's bring those knees into the chest for a moment. And move into one more little back bend, the bridge. We'll find our variation. So there's a couple options here. We can do a supported back bend, and that's when we can lift those hips and bring a block or a cushion right under that sacrum. And feel that passive back bend on your body. And the other one is just a simple two-legged table. Or you can go into the full bridge, where you bring the shoulders underneath you, clasping the hands underneath you, and arching that back up to extension. Watching those knees so they don't come out, keeping them hip width apart, and breathe. And one more breath in bridge. And on your exhale, releasing the hands, the shoulders, and nice and slowly from the upper thoracic, one vertebrae at a time, nice and slowly, giving the spinal column a little massage, coming down one vertebra at a time. Beautiful. Once you get all the way down, you feel that sacrum and that tailbone release. Bring those knees into the chest. Beautiful job. And we're going to go now into a nice supine spinal twist. So we're going to bring one leg out straight, coming up onto that side. I'm on my left side, so I'm going to come onto the left side a little, bending that right knee and bringing it over to the left hand helping to guide it over, and the right hand out straight, and turning the head to gaze out over the fingertips, and breathe. Beautiful. Releasing the leg, coming onto your back, and we move on to the other side. So my right leg is straight out, coming up onto that right side, just an inch to keep that spine neutral. Bending the left knee, right hand guiding the left knee over, and the left arm out 90 degrees. And turning to gaze out over those fingertips. And breathe. And coming back to center. Beautiful job. And bringing those knees up, and let's move into some releases. Let's start with our hula. Feeling those hips swivel nice and slowly. It's one hip comes up, the other goes down. The sacrum's flat on the earth, nothing's lifting up. Keeping that breath flowing, noticing all the sensations in this Annamaya Kosha, this physical sheath. And coming back to center, and we'll move into some hip pointers, pointing one hip at a time up towards the sky. And try the first couple, just lifting that one hip up, one side at a time. And then if you want to lift everything up, can do that. Keeping that breath flowing. Breathing through the nose if you can. And coming back to center, moving into some cat-cow. Cat will press the small of the back into the earth, tucking the tailbone under. And moving into cow, we're going to arch that spine up off the earth. Sticking that tailbone out. And even if your back is touching the floor, the spine is lifting up off the earth. Exhaling in cat, inhaling in cow. And coming back to center. Keeping the knees up. Let's walk the feet a little wider apart, maybe all the way to the wide edges of the yoga mat. And dropping one leg at a time into the center. Noticing the sensations in this physical Annamaya kosha, physical body. Keeping the breath flowing. Nice, slow, repetitive movements. Noticing sensation. And one more time on either side. And coming back to center, let's bring those feet back in so they're together, and dropping the knees over to one side or the other. And we lift that top knee up, bringing it all the way to the other side, taking a breath in this Baddha Konasana pose here with the soles of the feet touching. And then bringing that bottom leg to come back over to meet the other side. And continuing with your double knee drop. And maybe you are windshield wiping those knees and legs. And coming back to center and making any last movements, poses, stretches, anything that your body feels it needs. Before we move into a samadhi, a little extended savasana. And we're going to begin our savasana. We've been doing a lesson this week on asana prana meditation. Samadhi is meditation. We're moving into our asana. So we're going to add a little bit of pranayama, a little breath work to keep this, honoring this yogic map of moving from our asana into pranayama, a little more subtle. And then into meditation, the most subtle. So I'm going to invite you to do a little bit of conscious connected breathing. I teach it in some breath works that I do. There's a few ways to do it. We can just have a nice conscious flow, or we can do 2 short sips of inhale and then exhale. Or an inhale, exhale. Through the nose in a flow without pause. So find what works for you. A deeper inhale or 2 quicker inhales. A few more conscious connected breath work. One more breath. And letting that breath go. And moving now into pratyahara. Diving our awareness deep inside. Noticing what is going on in the inner being. There is a presence, a palpable dynamic energy field inside your body. Sensing that. And sensing the emotional body. Without any judgment, without even having to title or label or get into the intellectual process, feeling, diving into experiencing and feeling the emotions as they arise and fall without judgment. That sense of santosha, contentment with whatever emotion is arising, and watching it fall. And releasing this pratyahara, this manamaya kosha, and moving into the vijnanamaya kosha, moving into single point of focus, dharana. And we will use any chakra to focus your concentration on, or an anchor of your preference. All your focused attention on this chakra or this anchor of your choice. At any point your focus wanders, just bring it back to your anchor. single point of focus to concentrate the mind. A few more breaths in concentration. Dharana. We'll move into dhyana now. We move through these 8 limbs in pure concentration, concentrating on your awareness, conscious awareness, your existence. Expanding into that infinite consciousness that you are. Experiencing yourself as pure consciousness, resting in this higher mind, fully present. To pure awareness. And as you rest in this higher mind, this Buddhi mind, conscious and aware, realizing that you are as close to the divine mind, the mind of the God of your understanding as you can be. And allowing yourself to expand into that state. Basking in Purusha, pure consciousness. Pure divine grace. Merging with and becoming everything. Everywhere. Everywhere, everything. Basking in silent stillness. Quiet, still mind. You can remain in samadhi for as long as you need. If you'd like to gently come back, taking a nice deep breath into the belly. To move into the breath, into pranayama, pranamaya kosha. And gently wiggling the fingers and toes as you begin to come back into this annamaya kosha, this physical sheath. Maybe stretching out the arms and legs. And you might bring the knees up, those a little bit. And when you're ready, coming over onto your side. and coming up to a seated position. Yeah, my little Xander friend. Oh, sorry. And I feel guided to conclude this with a little chant. So see what might want to spontaneously arise forth from within. Let's see. Heya kunde ke heya 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 kunde he. Heya kunde heya 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 kunde he. Heya kunde heya he. Heya kunde he. Heya kunde heya 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 hey. Taking that last check-in, scanning the body, the Annamaya Kosha, the physical being, the inner energies, the life force. And checking back in with that intention that you set. Feeling the same emotions as if it's right here, right now. And releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better. And we conclude with a namaste. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, light, truth, and peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for Warrior Flow with some variations. I'm Grace with Ecstatic Yoga, ecstaticyoga.studio, wishing you a most beautiful and most blessed day.